Vincent van Gogh, the artist who changed the world in just 10 years. What if I told you that one of the greatest artists in history didn't even start painting until he was 27 years old? Most people would think it's too late, but Vincent van Gogh proved that it's never too late to change your life. Today, his paintings are admired by millions of people around the world. Some of them have sold for tens of millions of dollars. Yet during his lifetime, he was almost completely unknown. So how did that happen? Vincent van Gogh was born in the Netherlands in 1853. Before becoming an artist, he tried several different careers. He worked as an art dealer, wanted to become a teacher, and even trained to be a preacher. None of those paths worked out. After years of disappointment, Vincent made a decision that would change everything. At the age of 27, he picked up a paintbrush and decided to become an artist. He had no money, very little training, and almost no one believed in him. Almost no one, except his younger brother. Theo supported Vincent both emotionally and financially. He paid for his paints, his canvases, and encouraged him to keep going when nobody else did. Without Theo, the world might never have known the name Vincent van Gogh. In the beginning, Vincent painted ordinary people, farmers, workers, families living simple lives. His colors were dark because he wanted to show the difficult reality of their lives. One of his first major paintings, The Potato Eaters, reflected that idea perfectly, but everything changed when Vincent moved to Paris. There, he discovered bright colors, new painting techniques, and the work of the Impressionists. His paintings became more vibrant, more expressive, and full of energy. Yellow became his favorite color. To Vincent, yellow represented warmth, hope, sunlight, and life itself. This is why so many of his most famous paintings are filled with brilliant shades of yellow. One of them is the iconic Sunflowers series. Even today, those paintings remain some of the most recognizable works in art history. Later, Vincent moved to the south of France, hoping to build an artists' community. There, he became friends with another famous painter, Paul Gauguin. At first, everything seemed promising, but the two artists had very different personalities. Their friendship slowly turned into constant arguments. One night, after a particularly intense fight, Vincent experienced a severe mental breakdown. During that crisis, he famously cut off part of his own ear. It's the story that many people remember the most, but in reality, it was only one chapter of his life. Despite struggling with his mental health, Vincent never stopped painting. In fact, some of his greatest masterpieces were created during the most difficult period of his life. While staying at a psychiatric hospital in Saint-Rémy, he painted what would become his most famous artwork, the Starry Night. With its swirling sky, glowing stars, and dreamlike atmosphere, the painting feels almost alive. More than 130 years later, people are still fascinated by it. Sadly, Vincent never witnessed the success of his own work. In 1890, at the age of just 37, he died after suffering a gunshot wound, in circumstances that historians still discuss today. By the time he died, he had created more than 2,000 artworks, yet he had sold very few paintings during his lifetime. It was only after his death, thanks in large part to Theo's wife, who carefully preserved his paintings and letters, that the world finally recognized his genius. Today, Vincent van Gogh is remembered as one of the greatest artists who ever lived. His story reminds us that success doesn't always come when we expect it. Sometimes, the world needs time to recognize true talent, and maybe that's why Vincent van Gogh continues to inspire millions of people. Not because his life was easy, but because he never stopped creating, even when nobody was watching.